Coming to you live from my apartment. It's Rob Has a Podcast, and now here's the guy who puts the PH in RHAP. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Wednesday night recap here to talk about everything that's going on Wednesday, the 26th of August, Veto night here as we get ready, 24 hours away from the eviction of either Kaysar or Janelle. Got a great panel to talk about a not so fun time in the Big Brother house as we are joined here tonight. Okay. We are very excited to have back with us here. I'm not sure if her dog is running around or not, if she can talk, but here is the great Melissa Deni. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing great.
The voice of the people.
Yes, the voice of the people is here, ready for my coronation. I'm very excited to be here. I know we got a lot out at the round table last night, but I'm sure there's room for some more venting.
Okay. All right. Yes, plenty of room for venting. It's a airing of the grievances always on the LFC roundtable, but excited to hear what you have to say about this episode. Of course, back with us, very excited to talk with the host of the 90-Day Fiance RHAPup. Here he is, the great Pooya Zand Vakili. Pooya, how are you?
I'm doing well, Rob. It's always a grand time to come here and talk Big Brother. Even when we're talking about weird vetoes and star babies, I can never say no to coming on here and just speaking my mind on this crazy show that I do enjoy.
Okay. All right. And we're excited to have another one of our newcomers here with us. She spoke in the preseason about Enzo, and I have to say she was probably a little too low on Enzo based on how well Enzo has done. She was recently on the Survivor B&B. Let's welcome in Maggie Morgan. Maggie, how are you?
I'm doing great. What an episode to talk about tonight. I can't wait to talk about all of what we just saw. It's going to be a good time.
Yes. Okay. Maggie, you, I feel like, are the person that really discovered Enzo, the rapper.
I can't take all the credit, but I'm going to take most of the credit and just say you're welcome to the RHAP community for bringing Dwight Squall into everyone's orbit.
Yes. Okay.
I should be.
Yeah, thank you. So you have such an eye for talent. We appreciate that. Okay. Are you surprised Enzo has not rapped yet this season?
I'm very surprised. I can't believe he's not doing. What is he doing? If I was his agent, I would be super upset with him. He's got to get his words out there. The world needs to hear his music and his rapping style.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully he'll have an opportunity at some point later on this season. Okay. So we'll talk about everything from tonight, plus look at the live feeds and get a sense of how this vote is going for Thursday night as we head into our third eviction coming up on Thursday. We'll also take your questions here in this podcast as we recap another Wednesday, 3 weeks into Big Brother 21. It was only 3 weeks ago tonight, Melissa. Remember all the optimism?
I feel like it always is that way. Every season, it's like I come into it and I'm like, I got my little rose-colored glasses on and I'm like rosy cheeks and I'm just like, hey, everyone, what a great season. I'm so excited. I love this cast every season. And then it's like, as the weeks go by, it's just like more and more dejected, sad, upset, angry even maybe, so it's been fun, but it's also been frustrating, but isn't that the way it always is?
Yeah. Yep. Seems to be here in Big Brother 22. And I guess we should have seen this coming, being that it's 2020. And this is this is our lot in life. But tonight was really the last stand for Kaysar and Janelle to potentially both stay. A veto ultimately did them in. Pooya, I did love the conversation with Kaysar and Janelle tonight of talking about their friendship goals.
They are big time friendship goals. They're exactly this whole meme of name on a more iconic duo. Truly, come at me with a more iconic Big Brother duo. Personally, for me, this is it. I'm not fixing for a showman's pair to be the duo. I'm not a hitman guy. this is for me. This Kaysar is what was the original, and Kaysar is what's going to stand the test of time from me.
Have
I
we?
would argue Chilltown as
Yeah.
well.
I mean,
But
Yeah, and is there how
half
erasure
of
there?
Chilltown at this point.
Yeah. Yes, we're looking for a group that stays together. Also, Brendan and Rachel,
Yes.
maybe.
yes.
Yeah, true.
I think that Janelle and Kaysar are so iconic that we can call them, like we can refer to them by their friendship, and they've outlasted their enemies, right? Like they were
Mhm.
friendship's arch enemy, and now we're saying their friendship goals. So I would argue that they are the most long-lasting duo of them all.
Yeah, and it was a veto competition, and you hear about these things from the live feed updates and from reading everything on Twitter. Pooya, was this the veto competition that you expected when we actually saw it tonight?
No. And honestly, 3 weeks in, Rob, 3 weeks in, and I'm starting to have less and less faith in the whisper game we play.
The retelling of these
the
things.
feeds goss. First, we had the whole Keisha change.org situation. That didn't really turn out to be anything.
Mhm.
Then we had last week. Now this. I did not think this was it. The whole like, oh my God, 35 seconds. I was like, I don't know what went on that was so like impressive. I kind of get it now. I kind of understand how, and this like, I'm not really, my socks are not blown off by this veto. So
Yeah.
No, this was not even like fun. I don't know. Like it was just kind of like, okay, we're just like watching them make ice cream cones or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, this is what we're watching.
Everyone was so mad that like Cody won, and they're like, "Oh, Big Brother is rigging these competition for these like big athletic guys." Like the 7-year-old I babysit for could have done this competition and won. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed very blown out of proportion. I don't know.
Yeah, in the retelling that you would think that there was like some sort of like Olympic style obstacle course, like the American Ninja Warrior wall had to be climbed, and oh my God, you had to be so physical to do it. And this was not a physical challenge, at all.
this was literally IRL Candy Crush, aka Cupcake Crush. This is what they had done. It was like a backyard.
They should have
version.
brought Paul back for it if it was Candy Crush.
No, then Twitter would have been like, listen, Paul was there a couple years ago. The fix was in. Don't buy it.
Yeah. And if you were saying that the fix was in, like, I don't want to break it to anybody, but that this is a little bit of maybe a sore subject, but this exact challenge was the challenge that Brittany and Janelle got eliminated on in the Amazing Race 31. It was a head-to-head competition. Bring Rachel Riley back into this. It was actually, I think, Rachel Riley versus Brittany in that final round where Rachel eliminated Brittany. And so you would think that this would be something that, maybe that, okay, Brittany did it in that instance, but Janelle has seen this before.
Well, you know who else has seen it, Rob?
Who?
Nicole.
Yes, Nicole.
Yeah.
Yes.
If she had gotten on the phone with Grodner and said, "Hey, listen, I know competition, Janelle will definitely not win."
Yeah.
Just win.
So do you think that was the case? Do you think that maybe the fix was in, okay, this is something that Janelle struggles with?
I don't know.
Depending on if
it
it had anything to do with it.
Yeah, it wasn't a great night for Kaysar and Janelle in terms of the comps. Pooya, not a great moment for Kaysar, not realizing that the base of the cupcake also, that, Ian says base is pH 14, and also base is included in the competition.
See, I want to be like, Kaysar, you should have noticed it, but I'm of the camp of the cupcake wrapper doesn't mean anything to me. It's the cupcake within that matters. So I can't really blame him too hard, but he should have realized, listen, the colors, they're matching here. You got to make them match on the bottom as well. It was a misstep for our boy, but it's fine. We will forgive him because we love him, but also it's a harder and harder time for me to be like, Kaysar is one of the best, or like one of the most capable. I won't say best. I didn't say that. No one quote me on that. Don't put that anywhere.
Wow,
Do you think Kaysar only cares about cupcake tops, does not care about cupcake bottoms? He just throws them away.
It's certainly possible. It's certainly possible. There are people who have a preference of like the top or the bottom. It's all one piece to me. It's almost a one bite situation if I'm feeling good on a good day. It's just, yeah. It's the rapper part is what I don't need.
I just feel like where are the how bad do you want it competitions? Like that's the kind of style of competition I want to see
tomorrow.
Like
endurance.
Yeah, but not necessarily endurance. Not like I'm not talking about the competitions where it's like, can you physically do it? I'm talking about like, will you do it? Like, will you stand on this thing? Will you hold your?
Will you shave your head?
Yeah. Will you dye your hair? Will you do whatever? I mean, I don't really like the like physical changes ones, but like the ones where they put you in discomfort, maybe, or the ones where they like pressure cooker. We say it all the time. You just hold your hand on a button and convince the other people to get off. Like that sort of thing is very interesting to me to watch. And it like helps because it allows the people who really want to play and who love the game to survive longer. Whereas like, just because you can't stack a cupcake doesn't really tell me anything about your desire to be there. So I'm not a fan.
Okay. Let's talk about an interesting story, I think, heading into tomorrow night. I feel like that there has been a little bit, some rumblings of potentially twists coming to Big Brother 22. Have any of you heard any of these rumors about twists potentially for Thursday?
I'll be the first to say that I haven't.
Yes.
I would say just us asking for one on the round table yesterday.
Yes. Well, something new is going to kick into gear come this week, because this is going to be the final week of the safety suite. And the question is going to be, what will there be? That Julie talked about in the first episode, that there will be different rooms in the house that will open up. So, okay, we have the safety suite. What will be the next room to open up? The only question is going to be
puzzle room.
Maybe Davon will love it.
And she will leave, and Janelle will be kicked out probably. I mean, knowing the way things are going, and she'll immediately be put into Caitlin's puzzle room, and she will complete the puzzle that Caitlin was unfortunately unable to complete, and Janelle will be put right back in the game, and all is well.
See, but we knew that was coming. That we knew that there was going to be something that was used, right? That there was a power app that somebody was coming back into the game in the first 4 weeks. That was going to be used at some point. So
the odds are that there will not be a twist that saves Janelle or Kaysar this week. Like the odds are there will not. They'll just like introduce like, okay, this week and this new room is in play, and this is what's going to happen. But I can dream, and I will dream, and that's what I'm dreaming about.
So, Pooya, should we take the consolation that, okay, if it's going to be Janelle potentially on Thursday night, that the twist will be there to make sure that Kaysar doesn't go out back to back?
I mean, we can certainly hope for it. I don't know how I subscribe to that, or if I do subscribe to that, but I do think that. So if I'm trying to think, what's the next step, Rob? We had the safety suite. Starts with the letter S. Second word starts with the letter S. What's next? I feel like it's going to be like let's try and figure out what the best word is that they can fit next to lounge. It could be like the layaway lounge, the losers lounge, where the person who's out just gets to sit there for a minute and then comes back in.
The losers lounge. Let's do it. Production, are you listening?
Yes, Maggie, that you agree? Losers Lounge, or you have a different one?
Losers Lounge is a really good one. What about We Love You Lounge, where the audience gets to vote on who goes into the lounge and gets an awesome power?
Okay,
why are we not in
production? Why are we not in production? This is what we need. Yeah.
Okay. We'll see come Thursday night if we have the opportunity to have any sort of influence. But that's what's going on in terms of Kaysar and Janelle at this hour. We did have some other storylines going on. This was a big night for Danny Donato. This I think so far the first episode this season that really sort of like put her squarely on the chessboard as a player to watch out for in this game. Melissa, how accurate to what you've seen on the live feeds did you feel like this Danny Donato storyline was?
I mean, I think it's very accurate. I think there is a little bit more. I mean, they have to play it up a little bit for the show. Like, oh, she's controlling the house. She's the mastermind. She's in, she's in charge. I don't know if I would necessarily say that, but the fact that she's like, yeah, she's got a lot of cookie jars and her hands are in all of them. And she's also kind of like planting seeds with each person, making them maybe start to doubt other people in the alliance without really saying it. And so you do get a lot of that. And I will say, I absolutely loved Dani in this episode. I loved the diary room sessions. Like, I just feel like that's what I want to see from a player is like, if you're going to do that sort of like, I don't know, underhanded, like backstabby kind of gameplay, you better go in the diary room and say you're doing it. And I feel like that's what we're missing from Nicole, because I think Nicole's playing a similar game, and yet she's like, I'm not doing anything. And like, she'll just say like, I'm not a snake. I'm not a rat. And you're like, well, come on. Like, we all know what you're doing. Like, that's the fun part.
Melissa, don't be mean to Nicole Crandall. She really, really tries. Don't be mean like now.
No, I want the players in the diary room saying this stuff. And so having Dani do that, it just shows me that like she knows what we want, or at least she knows what I want in terms of like a cutthroat player. And I want to see more diary room sessions from her. I was worried that we were going to get a diary room from her being like, I just have so many allies and it's going to be really hard to, like betray them. Like, I was really worried about that just because like, you never know what people are going to be like in the diary room. And we haven't seen Dani like in the DR at all this season. So this was like her big showcase. And I think she nailed it.
Yeah, Pooya, the edit we got from Dani is like, I don't like any of these people.
Yeah. Dani,
and we're like, same.
We're like, yeah, okay. We can get on board with that.
Doing. I like this. Yeah.
This is very much Dani brand. Dani's been one of my favorite roasters that's played the game. Mm-hmm. The DRs have always been fire. They've been good. The only disheartening thing for me tonight, Rob, was realizing that Dani doesn't watch Survivor, because if she did watch Survivor, if she was up to date with Survivor, she'd know the great poet once said, the queen stays queen. And you can't just change that. So yeah, I feel like she's got it wrong there, but I did enjoy getting to see her in the DR this
we
night.
Talked about this a lot in the last couple of weeks about how coming into the season, Dani Donato said, hey, all right, Janelle is the queen, but I want to be that new queen. And she says in the diary room tonight,
Janelle absolutely is the big brother queen, but I have to make sure that she goes home this week because it's time for a new coronation.
New coronation. Wow. Okay.
We clocked it. We've been saying it this whole time that this is what she wants. She wants to be the new Janelle. She wants to be like the #1 female Big Brother player. And that's why we were like, why would Dani go against Janelle? Janelle wants to work with Dani. This is like a perfect shield for her. Like, they have a friendship outside the house. So like, you'd think that would be something she'd want to stick around. We were like, I don't know. It's not clicking for me. And then we were like, wait, that's got to be what it is. And then boom, she says it.
Maggie, I want to ask you about something I haven't had the chance to talk about on the podcast. Are you familiar with the Janelle's finale dress storyline?
I was about to bring that up. I saw it on Reddit that Dani had bought Janelle's finale dress from season 6.
Is this too gossipy to talk about? Or is this okay?
No.
This is okay, Melissa? This is okay?
My only issue with it is that I don't know where that information comes from. I know that the dresses look the same, but I don't know if it was exactly Janelle's dress, like that she bought from Janelle, or that it was like a like look-alike dress or the same dress brand, and she just liked it and wanted to wear it. So I don't know.
All right, so this is
but I don't think it's too gossipy.
And you know that listen, we're all Dani Donato fans here, but Maggie, this story is a little weird.
Well, word on the street is she bought it like from an eBay auction for charity. Like, Janelle put her dress up for charity.
Janelle's BB6 finale dress went up for auction. I'm not sure if it was BB6 or BB7. Do we know? Does it matter?
6. It was 6.
Okay. She put her dress up for an auction. Dani Donato bought said dress and then wore the exact same dress to the finale of BB8.
Also,
that is
Dani talked about this on Feeds. I'm not sure if anyone clocked it, but I was watching once and she was talking about I can't remember who she was talking about it with, but she said that she was originally supposed to be cast on Big Brother 6. She made it to finals for that, but she was 17, so they wouldn't let her on. And she was talking about how she was supposed to be on Big Brother 6. And then eventually she said like she was super happy she wasn't on Big, like because she was too young or whatever. But I have a theory that she's like always loved Janelle. And when she was on 8, she had the blonde hair. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at the, crystal ball or whatever, but I think that there might be some validity to it.
The chat is saying that there is some questions about whether or not if it's the exact dress.
Right. That's the one thing
they're
I'm
not
a little
necessarily the same size.
I mean, there's no possible way that she didn't see Janelle wearing it and be like, I like that dress. I want to wear a dress like that at the finale as like a tribute or like just because I like it or whatever. But like there's no way. What I'm trying to say is there's no way that they just happened to wear the same dress and it was just like some crazy coincidence.
No, not a coincidence.
You don't know if it's the literal dress that touched Janelle's body versus like just like it's like we don't know if it's a single white female situation or if it's just like.
Well, this is the question now, Melissa. Did it start with I want her dress. I want to be here. Now I have to get rid of her. Now I have to take over her spot.
Okay, fine. It is a single white female situation, but
yeah, and they're both married, so it's married. It's married white females. So
it's different. So it's fine.
Yeah.
You can get rid of each other. It's fine. But yeah, it is very interesting. Also, apparently it was an All-Stars, not Big Brother 6, but still. It's the point stands is that this is a married white female issue.
Okay. Pooya, is this anecdote illustrative of what's going on in the house right now?
Little bit, I think just a little bit. I feel like the whole thing is that it's been very evident that Danny and Janelle have had some extensive conversations going into this house. But I do think the more and more we're getting close to the swan song of Janelle on Big Brother 22, it's been evident that Danny has been waiting for this moment for a hot minute. I do feel like there's a genuine thought of I get to do a dethroning here and I get to take over. So it somewhat does represent it to me. Now, the levels of like Mariah Carey's Why You So Obsessed With Me, that I'm not sure about with the dress and everything, but there's definitely been this vibe of like, despite all the talk they might have had before this, Danny has been wanting this moment this season.
Although I do feel like it's very lackluster. I just feel like it's like
the dress, Melissa. Come on, you don't have to be mean.
The dress is lovely. It's fine. But it's the situation I just feel like if she wants a big, like, I got Janelle out, it's like, it doesn't do you any good to like kick someone out like the third week who like wasn't trying to go against you. And like, you actually didn't have any part of getting her out. It was just like, you're just sitting on the sidelines and someone else is taking her out. And there's no like drama behind it. There's no like victorious, like I've won, I've conquered, I've slayed the beast. It's like, it just seems like, it kind of just falls flat. I don't see any sort of situation where it's like, whoa, Danny did this. Because she seemingly, if you're just watching the show even, you're just like, she didn't really have any part of this. She just like has something against Janelle. Like, okay. But, I don't know. She could have waited a little bit and had Janelle like show a reason that like for Danny to even want her out in the first place. It's not thrilling to me.
Okay. One of the things.
Question.
Yes, Maggie.
Sorry, I was just going to ask. Does anybody notice that Danny stands really close to people when she talks to them? Like Bailey said on the episode today, she was like, "Whoa, girl, back up!" And I was like, "Yes." She's always like this close to someone, like in their face. I'm always like, "Oh my gosh, personal space, Danny." I don't know.
How else is she gonna communicate her points? You've got to be mouth to mouth.
Well, she's also known as like the whisperer. Like we're talking ASMR levels of very light voice when she's whispering. So I think that it must be from experience of it's been 2 seasons and no one could hear me. I need to be closer. But also I do think that with certain people, it's going to feel a little bit invasive of the personal space. Like, hey, this is the bubble. You need to step away from the bubble. Like you got to give me the distance. If I can't hear you, I can't hear you.
Yeah. One of the things that we saw here in Tyler's HOH week was that we heard this a ton in the previously on and then coming right out of the episode. There was one reason why Tyler really needed to gun for Kaysar and Janelle.
I nominated Kaysar and Janelle because not only do they have my name in their mouths.
Do not put Tyler's name in your mouth. Whatever you do.
Can't do
if
it.
he finds out that his name was in your mouth, does not like that.
It's dunzo. You don't want that.
Dunzo.
You don't want that smoke.
Maggie, that Tyler, this is really one of his go-to phrases of, I better not hear my name out of your mouth. Nobody's allowed to say it.
Well, I think the only name he's allowed to say is, maybe I shouldn't say it. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want anyone to get in trouble. But I feel like the only name he ever refers to is like his lovely girlfriend at home.
Yes.
And he's really like talking about other people in the house. So I would assume that he's like, what? I thought that everyone was just talking about their lives. I didn't realize people would be talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe.
Don't talk about him. Don't talk about him.
Not even in a good way. Like you can't even say like, I want to work with you. Like nothing, like not a single word of his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should there be a code name for Tyler in the house?
I mean, I would think so. I feel like a lot of the internet has adapted some of the misnames from the season.
I see a lot of Trevor and Tyler.
This makes so much sense. This is what Keisha was doing. Call him Trevor, call him Travis, and that way his name never comes out of your mouth.
Keisha, her mind.
Keisha was 2 steps.
She was
ahead.
onto something.
Yeah. She was on top of it. Okay. All right. There was a little bit of talk in this episode tonight. And Pooya, can you tell me, was this a total red herring or was there any possibility? Give me on a pH scale of 1 being very acidic and strong and 14 being so base. Okay. So base that Kaysar doesn't even recognize it as the bottom of the cupcake. Okay. So Memphis needs to go on the block. Okay. Memphis should be Tyler's target this week. Cody should use the veto and we should get out Memphis.
Are you saying on this should have been his move or that this had any validity behind it?
Was this even a real thing at all?
No. Here's the thing. Memphis definitely was a dummy. Right. We knew this. I think his HOH ran proved it. I think the fact that he did so poorly and didn't think things through that people thought he threw the thing, even though he won the thing, shows it. But despite all of that, no one's looking at Memphis. If anything, the way he handled himself and the way everything went last week made him even less of a target, less of anything anyone needs to care about for the moment. From the minute Tyler won this HOH, it was very much similar to Derek winning his HOH to take out Devin Bro and BB16. It's a house move. Everyone will be okay with this. I get to have a comp win to show my group, hey, I've got your backs. I can put the 2 targets up. One of them goes, and then I can try and fade into the background. So it was a non-starter. Now, do I think if the veto was used, would Memphis have gone up? I don't even know if that would have been the case. I think there would have been some conversation there with other people that would have been there before him. But it was fun to watch, nonetheless, tonight.
Maggie, did Memphis throw the veto?
I mean, I really hope so. Like, I hope that he did and he was lying about it. But, like, what was he? I agree. We all watched that clip of him literally having to move one piece to the other and then moving it all around. When you have Enzo thinking that you threw a competition, like, that might be a bit like, what's going on here? Because Enzo, his season, you know, everybody thought he was throwing competitions when he just really couldn't win. So when Enzo is the one who's like, I think you might be throwing this, like, I hope Memphis was. Otherwise, he just did a terrible job.
Listen, I think Memphis would tell us if he was throwing the veto. I mean, this is the same guy who like went to sleep on the exercise ball the other night.
Yeah, I definitely think he would have said something in the DR. I mean, at least like that would make him look better. Like otherwise it's just like, oh yeah, I was really bad. Like I just feel like he would have said something had he was throwing it. But like I would have thought watching him that he was throwing it. So I don't know. I don't think
he knock out Janelle?
that's the thing. He ultimately did. Even if he was stalling for Janelle, either you commit to the throw or you don't do it. So there's no way. I think
Like,
he's a big dummy, and he didn't realize that he had everything in the middle.
Right.
And
because the throw gets him nothing. Like if he was actually throwing the competition, like, but then decided to just move forward and like knock Janelle out, like it accomplishes nothing aside from like making him look sketchy. So I think he better not have been throwing it, and if he was, he didn't even do a good job of throwing it. So,
yeah, but Maggie, we saw everybody led by Danny being like, you know what, Memphis totally threw that veto competition. He totally did it.
That's why I said I hope he did, because how embarrassing, right? You're trying your hardest with this cupcake thing. And like, you're trying so hard to get it done. And the entire house is like, wow, he did so bad. He definitely threw it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But Pooya, I think that this speaks to a big problem with what Memphis did in that veto competition, where he threw it so bad, and now all future failures are Memphis is totally is throwing competitions.
I think now, it's the fact that the presentation was horrendous. And then you look at his situation last week where he won 2. So now it's like, well, this guy could win 2 in that week and go Captain Clutch. Why can't he do it now? He must be trying to pretend he's not good anymore to like offset his threat level because he just won an HOH veto back to back. So
yeah. And his HOH week, he sketched everybody out, and then he had that really terrible performance, which was an obvious throw, and now nobody trusts Memphis with anything, and he's an easy person to plant more Donato seeds against. Okay. All right. I should say Briones seeds in the house at this point. We saw a little bit also tonight, Melissa, with the Bailey and Danny Donato relationship, which I liked because I think that this is really the first time that we've seen any interaction on the show between Bailey and anybody else except Davon. That is this a real relationship at all in terms of what you've seen on the feeds?
I mean, not that I'm aware of. I don't know. I feel like I don't trust it. I think that Bailey's closest relationships in the house are with obviously Day. We all know that, but Kaysar and Janelle, like especially Janelle. I don't really see her interacting with, I mean, she interacts with other people, but I don't really see like a truly like a game connection with anyone else really. I mean, David, but even we don't even need to get into that. Like David is on some other planet, but I don't personally. I mean, if people are thinking from this that Bailey and Danny are going to be working together, I don't see that happening.
Yeah,
unfortunately, because that would be great, but
it would be great. Ultimately, we don't get to see what Bailey would do if she had won the power of veto, because she's not going to have it, and that'll have to wait for another day. But let's talk about some of the stuff that went on with Ian and Janelle. Let's talk about Janelle's beauty routine here. We learn about something. I've heard about the term. I've never seen it in practice, but Janelle is going to be experiencing something known as a vampire facial.
Vampire facial.
The music.
Okay.
Oh God.
All right. Maggie, did you know about the vampire facial?
I have that peel. I have that exact peel. It's $11 or something like that from The Ordinary. It's great. You should really only use it once a month because it does absolutely like clear out anything on your skin. But it's great. Every single time I use it, I take a picture and send it to all my friends because it looks like there's blood all over my face.
Okay. All right. So Janelle, she has a cream for everything in the house.
And I have the same. Basically, yes. I have to say, I have so many. I'm not even 40, but I have so many various creams. They take over the bathroom. A cream for everything, a facial cream for everything. I agree with Janelle. I get it.
Okay. All right. So she is going along and she is talking with Ian. Ian is, Melissa, would you say, is he being an alarmist about the pH level of Janelle's vampire facial?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't tried that facial. So, I mean, Maggie says it's good, but you know, if I was Janelle, I would be freaking out just because I would trust Ian, just because it sounds like Ian knows what he's talking about. And Ian's a smart guy. And if he's sitting there worried for me, I'm like, okay, please don't ruin my face. So
Yeah.
I trust it.
Ian was freaked out, Pooya, that he was like, that's that acid is that's a pH 3.6. And Janelle's like, oh, so it's 3.6% acid. And Ian's like, no, definitely not.
It's closer to the other end of the.
It's very
scale
close to
there.
hydrochloric acid. Now,
It'd be
Maggie,
scary.
in your
Yes.
experience, how dangerous is that vampire facial?
So there was a time that I put on the vampire facial and I went to go to the bathroom to rinse it off. And one of my roommates was in the shower and I did have to wash it off in my sink over the dirty dishes because you can't leave it on for like over a certain amount of time. Like I had to literally be like, oh gosh, I have to get it on now because if you leave it on for more than like 10 minutes, like it can burn your skin. So, you know, use it with caution, use it with care, but
Okay. Let
Sounds
me
very
bring
scary
in
to me.
a comment from one of our people in the chat. Mandy says, as a chemist, this pH is completely safe.
Oh,
There we go.
well.
So we have a team of scientists that fact check all the podcasts as we go along, just so everybody knows.
Well, you have to
Okay.
have that. We don't want to say anything wrong. We do a lot of science talk, and you know we got to make sure we're
A
not
ton.
telling people something wrong. A ton.
A ton of science talk, and we like to make sure. Ian was talking about his personal hygiene regimen, and I would love to know. Let's play a game called "Is it kidding or
I'm kidding.
not kidding?" with Ian Terry. Okay, let's find out. Is this a joke or Ian is telling it to us straight?
I think the most I do for my own beauty is some laser hair removal on my chest and back. That's about it.
Okay, all right, Maggie. Is Ian Terry the ultimate deadpan, or is Ian sincere that the only part of his beauty regimen is laser hair removal on his chest and back?
You know, I know that laser hair removal is a bit expensive, and Ian did win $500,000. So I say it's probably more true than not. Go, Ian.
Okay, true. Pooya, what do you think?
I mean, I feel like Ian, you know, I would argue is one of the more sensible winners. So I think he was more smart with the money that he got. But the way he said it, I definitely do think that he must have done it because obviously the alternatives are to wax or to use like the wax cream or like the wax strips. Those will be more of a painful situation. I feel like Ian's I want to go with the painless and like less hassle free. So let's say he did. I'll say he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Melissa, what do you think? Sweep it?
Look, all I'm saying is that there were some rumors going around when he first appeared on the season that maybe that gray streak is dyed. And that is a beauty routine. And I feel like if he's saying the only beauty routine he does is laser hair removal, I mean, that gray streak looks really nice. Is it too perfect maybe to be real?
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll say that if there's one episode of Big Brother All-Stars that I hope that Dr. Will Kirby is watching, this is the one. I need him to weigh in on Janelle's vampire facial, one, because that he is a vampire, correct? That's really what the rumors have been over many years. And then two, did he give Ian the hookup for the laser hair removal?
Wow.
That's
so
the
many
point.
important questions. This episode clearly was really focused on gameplay and strategy. We have so many very important topics to get to here.
Yes. In the words of Kaysar.
Well, this is an absolute disaster.
Yeah. Okay.
It sounds like Game of Thrones music.
Yes. Kaysar.
So dramatic.
It brings the drama. Okay. Should we talk about Christmas and her babies?
Oh yeah. Yes, we shall.
Well, I guess we should.
Yeah, please.
Yes. Okay. Maggie, what'd you make of this punishment? Is this what you're here for Big Brother?
This is the epitome of what I'm here for Big Brother. kidding me? Like, I'm very sad that this punishment went to someone as uncharismatic as Christmas. Not to be a Christmas hater, I do think she brings other things to the show, but I don't think her diary room sessions or like her stunning wit are one of them. And I wish Davon had gotten this punishment, because can you imagine Davon's DRs about this? But, I do think that Christmas looking like a drowned rat going around to the room saying, "My babies are so cute. Look at how cute my babies are," was worth the entire hour-long episode for me, honestly.
Yeah. Pooya, this was sort of like the seventh grade project where they like make you take care of an egg to sort of like teach you the responsibility of what it's like to have a baby, to sort of also like, hey, teenagers, this is not fun. Okay, remember that, everybody. But to a woman that actually has a real baby, shouldn't this have been kind of a layup?
It was, until a couple of things happened. Right? So one star baby, it's fine. We're joking. Hey, Enzo, you're the dad.
Yes. One star baby, I believe, was one of the reviews left on Memphis's restaurant.
I believe there was one, and then I believe there was one with no kids, if you know what I'm saying. We're talking 0. Then the fact that she had to name all of them, right? And I listened to the names. They're all themed around Big Brother. No. But, and I do not understand, of all the names, of all the BB vocabulary, the BB dictionary, why is Backdoor one of the names you picked for this star baby?
Poor baby.
Like, there were better names out there.
Wait, wasn't one of them named Twinkle or something? I heard it. But what does that have to do?
It's a star.
There's all
Here's
Big
the
Brother
thing,
terms, and all of a sudden it's Twinkle.
Christmas has a thing against people that give babies creative names. Okay, that this woman has been scarred. Okay, by once upon a time, somebody's like, "Oh, I've got a real outside the box idea for a name." Okay, Christmas is like, "Nope, I'm going." Although I guess she also has passed on some outside of the box names. But this is Big Brother. Big Brother Christmas is basic. Like this is very much like that. Whatever she's looking at, that's a baby name.
Also,
I was just gonna say I'm very happy that Enzo and Christmas are showmancing the way that I predicted preseason, and I hope that we can get their showmance name to be Dwight Christmas.
Dwight
right?
Christmas, yeah.
I like it.
He already saved Christmas, and maybe we could get Dwight Christmas. Yeah, Maggie. I don't know about Enzo as a real dad, but if this is any indication of what Enzo's real life parenting could be like, not surprised that the first Mrs. Enzo might have said, "Okay, maybe I'll see you later."
He's like, "I'm going to the bar."
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
You know. Who knows what the story is there? What I can say is she missed out on quite a rap prodigy. So that's all I have to say about that one.
Not to panic Mike Bloom, because I know he's listening. So in my
Adult
head,
babies?
the other thing, that's what I'm getting at. The other thing I was thinking about, Rob, because I'm thinking about this is a regular Big Brother challenge, but what are the things I find weird about it? Here's the weird thing. Someone is on the payroll in CBS to get on the mic and say, as a star baby, say, "Mommy bounced me on your lap." And
yes.
That is it's unfortunate for whichever crew member has been tasked with, hey, yell out the stuff we need Christmas to do if you're the star baby, and say it out loud on the microphone for thousands to hear.
Yes, like this.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh boy.
Yeah, so someone is getting compensated to do this throughout the week, which is like, I commend you, but also I feel for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say I thought it was funny how they kept adding babies. I just thought I liked that. I feel like it's like when the punishment happened, I thought it was just going to be one baby. And I was like, okay, well, this is kind of going to get dull. But I just thought it was great how they just kept adding babies and making it more and more frustrating and annoying for her. It was great.
Yeah, so many babies for Christmas. I have to say, they got me last week with the punishment with Ian having to do the play. But this week, I saw this coming a mile away once we're getting to the veto ceremony.
This is the veto meeting.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every time.
They have to change it up and not do it every time because then it's not funny anymore. It's the same thing they do every single time. It's like, the person telling about the comp, like, I have to win this because and I'm going to win this. And then whoops. And then they fall. And it's just like, oh, okay. Yeah. It was funny the first 7 times.
Maggie, I wonder, do you think that if the power veto was going to be used, maybe they would have a little bit more reverence for the moment, but they're like, boy, this is going to be another dud. Nobody's using the veto. All right. Hit the baby.
I mean, perhaps, but I also think that we're not giving the Big Brother producers enough credit because I do think they are brilliant comedians. And I think, if something's broke or something isn't broke, we shouldn't try and fix it. And, who knows what they are thinking in there. Maybe for the rest of the season, we'll get punishments or wacky things going on at veto ceremonies.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They love it.
Janelle is going to make a pitch to Cody that she goes to his room. She says, basically, look, here, keep me. Let's target the floaters. If you keep me, I will vote with you for the next 2 weeks. Janelle tells us just how great of a deal this is.
I gave Cody the deal of a lifetime.
Pooya, would you classify, I will vote with you for the next 2 weeks here of Big Brother All-Stars. Is that the deal of a lifetime?
That's like trying to be like, hey, so I have this great car for you, and just because you're my favorite customer, I'll throw in an air freshener for the hood. No, you're not spicing it up enough. There's not enough. You're not selling this. It's a little bit of a half-baked idea of hey, so I'm not
free
saying I'll keep you safe. Yeah, I'm not keeping you safe. I'm not gonna nom who you want me to nom. I'll vote the direction you're voting twice. Come on. It's not. But also, on the other hand, if I may, Cody, the Calafiores, actually, let me put both of them in here. Not great actors. He really wasn't trying to act like this was a good deal either. At least,
Hey, Maggie, can you please put some respect on the Calafiore name and tell Pooya about some of the acting work that I know you are a fellow thespian that the Cody Calafiore has been a part of?
He was in a movie where he played the dad of a girl who was my age, probably. So he was like,
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So what?
Cody was in a movie where he's the dad of a teenager?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And he was I think he was a military dad who was leaving. But by age, if we were looking at it, he would have had to have her when he was 9. Which is not casting directors do weird things.
But he doesn't even look old.
He doesn't.
Oh, come on.
Does he do vampire facial?
Oh, come on. That's bizarre.
Polly also does some on-screen work.
Yes, I've heard.
So I think that maybe it runs in the blood.
What is this name of the Cody movie?
Oh,
I'm trying to look it up now because I saw the trailer recently, and I don't want to knock his acting too much, but I've been on live feed updates with 10 times more views than this guy's trailer.
Yes. Okay.
Just saying.
Yes. He's got a lot in post-production. He's got a lot of movies in the can.
He does. He's dabbled. He's dabbled. Okay. What movie is this? Is it a TV movie? No, it's not Clinton Road. The chat's going to come through with this one, but he is in a movie called The Clinton Road as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there you go. All right. Ironically, in Clinton Road, do you know what the name of the character Cody Calafiore plays?
Is it Dwight? Please let it be Dwight.
No, it's Tyler.
I nominated Kaysar and Janelle because not only do they have my name in their mouths.
Yeah, watch out, Cody.
Rob, it's called Little Cupid.
Little Cupid. Okay, check that out. Oh, it's a TV series. That's what threw me off. The TV series, not a movie.
Was it a limited, like a TV movie? I think perhaps.
Might have been.
Boy, this seems a little dark. Little Cupid, a TV series. A little girl is visited by her father who's trying to earn his wings to get into heaven. He's dead?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Forgot to bring that up. Spoiler alert. Forgot to say
Oh,
that.
okay. So maybe did he die? Did he die as a younger man? And then is that what's
makes
going on?
more
This is
sense.
dark.
I
This
don't
got dark.
I
don't
didn't mean
like-
to cause stir. I was just reporting on the photos that I saw. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I think we all just need to watch it and report back.
Look, if you
and-
guys thought Big Brother 22 was depressing.
yeah,
Okay.
this sounds real depressing.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Melissa, anything else from the episode before we get into some questions?
I liked seeing the conversations between Janelle and Kaysar. It's nice
Yeah,
seeing
that
them
was
on the
nice.
screens again, and seeing them talk about their friendship. That was really nice. I feel like we didn't really get a lot of gameplay this episode, but I think that's because there really wasn't that much gameplay to show. It kind of just seemed like there was really no chance that the veto was going to be used, and people kind of already have their minds made up as to what they were going to do starting from the beginning of the week. And, that's kind of just the way the episode presented it. And they presented that there were options, but there really wasn't. And so, I'm not surprised that we didn't get a more thrilling episode, but,
Maggie, are you surprised that there have not been more blow-ups this week between Janelle and Nicole F?
I really have been surprised about it. I mean, on one hand, Nicole F doesn't like confrontation, but on the other hand, like Janelle said, like she does. So I've been very surprised that Janelle hasn't gone after Nicole in the house, and I've been waiting for it, which is like, it's pretty sad that we don't get to see Nicole immediately run away and start crying that she was so mean to her and she can't believe she would do this. But she invited her to her wedding. But I invited her to her wedding,
something I will say that I'm not thrilled about with the episode is that Nicole, they're really going with the Nicole narrative where it's like, Janelle is mean to me and I'm so glad we're getting her out of the house. She's been so mean to me this whole time, which no, she hasn't. She hasn't done anything to you. If anything, like you're the one who started everything by calling her out when you made her a have-not. So like, I don't know what Nicole is talking about, and they're not showing any evidence to dispute it in the episode. So it kind of is just like, okay, like it seems like we just must not be seeing it, but probably, since there's nothing to say otherwise, Janelle must be being mean to Nicole. But really, like, that's not the case. And that's the narrative that Nicole is creating. So it's a little bit frustrating that, like, that's still being, like, portrayed. I don't think people are falling for it, but, like, it would be helpful to not, like, run with that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Janelle did get a shot in tonight.
The only other option is Nicole F. Just because she sucks.
Classic.
I love it that Janelle is so unbothered. Like she doesn't even care to come up with like a better insult. She sucks.
Come on. We know. Come on.
We all know.
Okay, let's take some questions. Hear what you guys had to say about this episode. All right. Let's bring in questions from the chat. Okay. Big A from Iowa says, who would date these people after reading some of these baggage tags? Scott, I think that this is a question from Love Island wrap-up last night. I do not believe this is a Big Brother 22
I was like,
question.
wait, am I missing something completely?
Let me
Why
know
would
if we have any Big
dating
Brother
any of
22.
them? Why are we dating anybody?
Fair enough. Fair question. Fair question.
It's
lot
a
of
fair
baggage.
question.
A lot of baggage. Okay. All right. Hit by a Car Claire says, should the makers of Janelle's vampire facial be paying CBS for product placement? No, they should be paying Maggie.
Janelle didn't say.
Yes. Okay. Check that out. And you say it works, Maggie?
It does. You should spot treat it on your face before you do it to make sure that it won't give you inflammation. But for me, it's awesome.
Okay. All right. Then let's go to Lizbeth, who says, are veto comps like this unfair? I feel like Jason would have more of a chance if they all competed at the same time. Come on, Lizbeth. All right. We all wanted Kaysar and Janelle to do good.
They didn't have a chance anyway.
But this was a layup. This was a cupcake, literally.
A piece of cupcake.
Yeah. Janelle and Kaysar are supposed to be the smart ones. They're supposed to be able to run circles around some of these dummies.
Yeah, I don't like I don't really like competitions where it's like you do a head-to-head mashup and then you kind of move on to the next round or whatever, just because I feel like it kind of eliminates drama, like especially if the people that need to win the veto get out in the first round or second round or whatever. And then it's like, okay, so now we're kind of just like watching people compete who don't really need to win it, who don't really care about winning it. And then it's kind of just like, it defeats like any of the tension or the drama. So, you know, I'd prefer everyone's competing at the same time, or they do the individual time things and then reveal them very dramatically, you know, something like that.
And the unfair way would have been if it was, okay, 2 people randomly get drawn, they play, and then the winner picks the next 2. Because then no matter how you look at it, most likely if Janelle and Kaysar somehow managed to not be the first 2 going in, they would have been the first 2 put in next back, like right next to each other, challenging. So then they would have just had to keep going and going, which sometimes does help depending on the competition. But I think in this scenario, it was a random draw. They didn't face each other, so that's good for them. They technically both had a shot at this. Kaysar just didn't even look at the rapper, respect, but Janelle had a chance against dummy Memphis, who was being dumb and messing up anyways, and still didn't get it done. They are my heroes, but sometimes our heroes are not amazing.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's the truth.
You know, if you were hoping for a competition that Kaysar or Janelle would be able to win, I mean, this would have been as close to the top of the draft as you probably would have gotten. So, you know, you got to win a comp, you know, especially Janelle, you're the comp beast. You got to win one of these. Okay. Let's take a question from Jacob Kramer. Wants to know, out of the 3 punishments, which one was the worst, for them or for us? Maggie, do you have any thoughts on what would be of those 3 punishments the one you would least want to do?
I think Christmases, just because how could I explain that to any of my family or friends back home?
Mm-hmm.
Like how am I supposed to describe what I had to do? And you know, like it's just, at least with Ian's, like you can have fun with it. Janelle, you know, she put on her Louboutins and she strutted around as the star. Like Christmas, it's like I'm changing stuffed animal diapers and like making sex jokes about like this person who, it was just a lot. It would just be a lot for me, I think.
Okay. Now, we have seen already in this season Janelle in a literal star costume. Ian is in a Star Wars parody. There is a brand new, a Star is Born. We basically turn that into a punishment. So let's just dump out the bag right now. Okay. What are the other Star challenges? Are we going to have Star Jones punishment? Somebody they have to say you're a lawyer all the time. Are we going to have like some sort of competition of like some sort of like Hollywood Walk of Fame? What are the other star things we're gonna do? Because this is all stars. Get it?
Stargazing?
Stargazing. What would we do? Have some sort of a competition of memory competition? Look at the wall.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something about starfish.
Starfish, okay.
Yeah. Definitely
Rockstar.
Starfish.
Yeah, will either be hosting a thing or part of a Pandora's box kind of thing. Maybe she comes in and yells at somebody. I would like that. That'd be cool. Let's see.
Shooting stars, basketball.
Yeah. Okay. A shooting star. That's a good one. So I think we're just going to go through all of the star puns and, turns of phrase that we can possibly find. Okay.
I mean, stars, they shine bright like a Frankie. Oh, no, Frankie Grande's back in the house.
Frankie Grande, Starbucks latte. Okay. We're yeah, see, it's all coming together. Coming together. Look, you accurately predicted last Wednesday the Zoom competition. So, or maybe it was the week before that. Who knows anymore? They're all blending together. But you predicted that. And so now one of these ideas, I guarantee it, one of these ideas, tune in. You'll see one of these.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Tara, who asks, what would you name your star babies?
Tell you what, I wouldn't name the star baby. I already did that. Let's say it has, I'm trying to keep it Big Brother themed, right? right? Because that would probably be the move, especially if some people were saying production did name it. So let's say it's that scenario. What would I want is what we're saying here. I would say that I wouldn't mind naming my kid Pressure, like Pressure Cooker, because here's why. My kid is not going to be in trouble under pressure. If I sit underneath pressure, that's the only time I'm under pressure. Otherwise, I'm fine. Pressure's a good one. I like Cooker as well because you don't mess with Cooker because Cooker will cook you. So I like that as well. It's like
These are bad, Pooya. These
like
are bad.
Chef Joe, right? He'll headbutt you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would name my stars after past Big Brother winners, or I'd name it after people in the house, and then I'd, either be nice or mean to them if I liked or didn't like them, or if they were making me mad.
Okay. All right. Maggie, what would you name them?
I would name my the first one One, the second one Giant, the third one Mosquito. Just throw hands up there.
Good job. Okay. All right. Let's take another question. This one is from Anna. If David could give you guys podcast advice, what would he say? Okay. This is a little bit more of a live feed question because David was invisible in this episode. David got less screen time than Janelle's vampire facial. So
honestly, it's probably better for him.
Yeah.
It's probably better.
Yeah, we'll touch on David when we get to talking about live feed stuff. Okay. Chandler wants to know, was Memphis really trying to throw the veto to Janelle, or has he just gotten sluggish in his old age? I do love that the narrative is become that Memphis is literally 64 years old.
Yeah, like the narrative is that he's an old man, and he is not. He's not old. Like, I don't know where that's coming from. It makes me scared, but whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not the years, it's the mileage for Memphis. Okay. Let's take from Med after the baby segment. Do we ship Christmas and Enzo, or is it just me? Okay, Maggie, you give a big thumbs up to Christmas and Enzo.
Love it. Dwight Christmas. I'm all here for it. I hope he makes shirts.
Yeah. Now, Pooya, is there any possibility that this is a romantic connection? I mean, we saw Christmas. I'm sorry, we saw Enzo talking about how thirsty he was recently. You and I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. So, is Christmas spoken for first?
I want to say not at ATM, not at the moment. I feel like she was at some point, but I don't think that's the case now. And obviously, anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. But do I see them as an ideal pair? I've seen weirder pairs. I feel like this is something that could work. I don't mind it. Also, might I say, I would prefer maybe Christmas Squall over Enzo Christmas, or what you said earlier, Dwight Christmas. Maybe a Christmas Squall is what I'm here for.
Okay.
It's a Christmas squall.
What would they? So here's the thing. Do you think that Enzo would rap for the Star Babies? Would you think that would have been a missed opportunity we didn't get? I feel like we should have gotten that. A rockabye rap.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Mindy in the chat again. Don't know if we can verify this. Says that Christmas does have a boyfriend.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. But look, that might not last. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Anything can happen.
Relationships are hard. They don't, Okay. Let's take another question. Alyssa Smith says, was it just me, or every time Christmas did her cupcake magic as the host of the Veto comp, the music was a Christmas carol up on the rooftop? Is that public domain? Okay.
They can't help themselves.
Yes.
They literally can't help themselves. They will put, anytime Christmas is in there, some sort of holiday reference or song or bells or anything. That is that they can't stop.
Should Christmas have named her babies like Blitzen, Donner?
I'm surprised they didn't
Rudolph.
make her do that.
Yeah, if they would have thought of that, they would have that would have been the way to go. Okay. All right. Let's do one more question. We'll talk about some live feeds. Okay. All right. This is from Nate, who says, could Christmas win this thing? She's by far the best position in the house, has secret final twos with both Tyler and Nicole, and she's a new mom, so she could definitely win a jury vote. Okay. Should we talk about the how realistic it is for Christmas to win this competition? Is that a possibility?
It's
Who's
hard
the most
to
bullish?
say. I just feel like it's hard to say because she absolutely could win. Like totally. I could see her winning. I think she's playing a good game. I think that, she's well positioned, but there's just so much more game left to play that it's hard to say yes or no. I mean, yeah, she could win for sure. But do I think she is going to win? I don't know.
To me, hear me out. I don't know if Christmas is a long haul type of player. I think she can keep it together for a while. But I think that, 60 days in, 65 days in, I think we're getting cranky Christmas at some point.
I think that, yeah. The thing is with Christmas, everything is going Christmas's way right now. The stars, not her babies, but the ones in the air have aligned, and she's been in a good path right now. All the people that she's been good with are kind of, in a good spot. She's got these final twos, and people who have played the game, are experienced, know what they're doing. She's pretty much focused on getting that social game and talking to as many people. She's gaining the trust of people. I do feel like coming in, we talked about a lot of people talked about preseason. Well, someone like David, who is coming in as an unknown entity, someone who went out early, can they stand at the end and be like, I'm deserving of an all-star season win? Maybe not. I think Christmas is someone who's pushed through that. She's made the final three before, whether we rate her game or not. She won a foot race without a foot. So it's kind of one of those things where I do think that she's putting herself in a good position here, but I very much co-sign what you're saying, Rob, where like Christmas is also known to get mad when things don't go Christmas's way. And this is only week 3 of a marathon. So we'll see what happens. If the wrong person wins, puts her up as a pawn because they're like, hey, Christmas is great with everybody. And then it's no longer Christmas joy, it's Christmas rage. Yeah, it could happen. We could be talking about it going a different direction. Right now, it's looking decent.
Okay. All right. Maggie, what do you think about that?
Oh, I hope if she blows up, it's on Nicole. It'll be so funny.
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll see. She'll get uninvited from the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Do we know the date for the big wedding? Is it right after the season? Is it close?
I think so. I think she said sometime in November. I'm sure the chat will know.
Wow. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. That's coming up. All right. Let's talk about our live feeds. And as we look ahead towards Thursday night, we will have an eviction, whether it will be Kaysar or Janelle. We'll check in on the vote and all the other drama going on at the Big Brother house. If you're bouncing out now, we'll be back again live on Thursday night at 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Until then, let's talk about the spoilers.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
Dude, okay. All right. Let's talk about the spoilers. Melissa, Janelle's going home. Bye-bye, Janie.
It seems likely. I mean, look, anything can happen. If anybody can pull something off, I think Janelle could, but it just seems like nobody is receptive to it. And if you're talking to a brick wall, nothing's really going to change. And I think that is the problem.
Hypothetically, if Janelle did stay, what does that look like?
I mean, I feel like it looks the same as if
either way, the house, it's basically 11-0, one way or the other.
I do think that the way Janelle stays is if something happens and the house and the majority alliance is like, look, we need to flip this around. Let's get everybody on the same page and we're all going to flip it. Like, I don't see a situation where a small group gets together and is like, we're going to flip this on its head. Like, we're going to keep Janelle. We're not going to tell the other people. Like, it's going to be a split vote. Like, I just don't see that happening, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. But Kaysar stays. That's
I mean,
the
that's
upside.
the thing is like I want them both to stay. Yeah. So it's not like I'm like, oh no, we have to stick with Kaysar. Like, I love Kaysar and I'm excited to see him play because we've never seen him play without Janelle. We've seen Janelle's game without Kaysar, but we've never seen Kaysar's game without Janelle. So like, honestly, either one staying is good to me just because I really love them both and I'd love to see them both play. So obviously I would love to have them both stay, but
Yeah.
it is.
Let me play this moment from the episode that I cut and we haven't listened to yet.
I've never been in this house without you. That's crazy.
That's why if you would just chill out, maybe you've got a good shot.
You know I can't do that. I'll still try to burn the house down.
Okay, but...
And then I'm going to be pissed this time because you're going to be gone. So then I'm going to be vengeful, and that's not nice.
Vengeful at who? The whole house?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do?
All of them.
You know, it would be such a great storyline to have some sort of like, Natalie Anderson, Jeremy Collins type storyline where that Kaysar is just going to now, okay, fine. You got rid of, I think there's other better Big Brother examples like Dr. Will in Big Brother 2 of, okay, fine. I'm going to just link up with you guys, but I'm never going to forget what you did.
Yes.
Pooya,
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Pooya, do you think that Janelle gets Kaysar worked up at all?
I feel like, it's one of those things where, we all have that one friend from back in the day. When you hang out with them, you are the exact same person you were 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That vibe doesn't change between the two of you. I feel like there's a bit of that there. Obviously, I think without him having someone he trusts so much to like talk scorched earth like this with them, it might be a different Kaysar. But I think like obviously in his core, he is who he is. The problem is, every time he's played Big Brother, he's been in the same position he is now. So that's his like regular go-to. Without Janelle there's like a small percentage chance of optimism for me. Because here's the thing, right? I'm obviously sad that the two of them are on the block and one of them are going. Am I happy that Janelle's going out of the two? Yes, but for one main reason. And that's the fact that, honestly, if Janelle stays, she's going next week no matter what, no matter who, unless she wins.
I agree.
There's wiggle room with Kaysar. There's a little bit of like people have been trying to pick him up in this last week. And like some of them think like they've got him. They can control him. They can use him. So there's that smidgen of hope. And getting to see even a week of Kaysar without Janelle, I would like to see it. If it's the exact same like he is regularly, that's still getting more Kaysar, but also it's getting Kaysar without Janelle. Seeing how he would fare without her would be nice since we've never had that.
Maggie, also, Janelle will be much better on social media, right?
Oh, can't wait. Cannot wait.
Oh, yeah.
Instagram lives that involve Rachel Riley.
Must see Instagram lives, right? The tweets will be on fire.
Mm-hmm. She's awesome. I love her. I
win-win.
I said this on the B&B. Like Janelle, when Janelle played the first time, I'm Tyler's age. So when Janelle played the first time, I was 10.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Sorry. I was. So I didn't see her. Like I didn't start watching until 13. And so I only ever watched the edited show. So I don't think that I understood like the incredibleness that is Janelle, and watching her on these feeds and seeing how unbothered she is. She's just so awesome. Like I love her. I would watch her on every single season. I love her so much.
Okay. We'll see. All right, let's talk about any other storylines from the house. Pooya, do you have your finger on the pulse of the latest happenings with the saga of David and Tyler?
Yes. I have caught up. I've tried to catch up to get ready to talk about it because, and listen, we had a mastermind. We had a genius to grace us in Big Brother history, Big Brother lore. It was Raven.
Yes.
Step aside, Raven. Your story's over. There's a new sheriff in town.
Know your role, Raven. Right.
And it's the one and only, the credit man himself, David. So now David's new to the scene. David's out here. He's scooping things. He's figuring stuff out. And David's kind of like an auditor because David's whole thing is whether you have good credit or not. This week, David has been going out of his way to figure out, hey, Janelle, your credit's not been good. I don't trust anything you're saying. 3 weeks safety, forget you. Your credit's not good. Kaysar, if you stay, I'll keep you to stay, but I'm going to need your credit to be something different. Last night, all of this that I'm saying happened. This is all factual. David went a step further and said, how could I make stuff more difficult for myself as a person with no target on me because I'm new and no one really rates my game, that no one really thinks I'm anything? I know. Let me go to the one person that's been going to bat for me, that has my back, that's definitely going to take me far that's a good player that knows how to navigate. Let me take information he's given me and give it to someone else. And then here's the best part. And then confess to it. And then be like, hey, I told Davon this. I got cornered. I told her, Tyler. I told her what you said to me about the whole targeting situation. And now Tyler's mad. And I tell you, if you can find this clip on Twitter of Tyler getting irritated with David after he said, come on, man, why'd you do that? You need to watch it. It's good stuff.
It's so funny. He like throws the remote because he's like, wait, so did you tell her about that? And he's like, she got it out of me. And he's like, but did you tell her I said it? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, come on, man. And he like throws the remote on the bed. And it's so funny.
He didn't move his forehead.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So funny because it's just like you never really see Tyler get worked up. And he's just like, because it's like at first it's like, okay, it's not good that you told her because that's like already not good. And then it's like, but did you tell him that I was the one who said it? And it's like, yeah, I did that too. Yes, I definitely linked you up with this. Like, it's like, oh my God, you couldn't have like made a worse move at this point. So bad.
But do we know that the fallout from this is that is Tyler potentially in trouble? Is David potentially in trouble?
They all are potentially in trouble. I mean, everyone's potentially in trouble, but it seems like Tyler has done a good job of like smoothing things over for himself. However, now Tyler and Cody are like, this guy, David, we can't trust him. We gotta do something about this guy. So like even before this moment, they thought of him as a potential ally and someone they wanted to work with and protect and all that. Now they're like, he's a loose cannon. Like we don't know where his head's at, like who he's going to tell to what. Like he's totally unpredictable. We can't keep him around.
Okay. Melissa, you had a viral tweet from yesterday. Would you care to read it if I brought it up on the screen?
Wow, this is
Please.
humiliating, Rob. But
Why?
This
was a great moment that Melissa Deni tweeted. I am sorry, I was wrong. This tweet has 278 retweets and 4,400 likes. Wow, what a ratio.
Yeah, it's a great ratio, but you know, it's a sad moment for me. You know, it's like I had to do some reflection and I looked inward and I just realized that like I had to come forward and say this, and I wouldn't feel good about myself or my situation if I didn't own up to my errors. And I just felt like this notes app was the way to do it. I mean, that's the way everyone does it, right? So I just felt like I had to come forward and apologize to the community and, you know, to my Twitter followers and just like the Big Brother fans at large.
Yes. When did you give David a 7 in the stock watch? This was this season or last season?
This was last season.
You gave him a 7 when he was already voted out of the game?
It was, I believe, and Taryn can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I do believe this was after the show. Yeah, there we go. Post show.
Oh,
it was after the show overall gameplay.
Okay. All
like
right.
what we thought they would do on a future season. Like we took that into account and like how they played and everything. And so, and you know what? It does not make it right.
Maggie, I know you love the characters of Big Brother. Has David officially become a character yet?
Yes, I have a whole backstory worked out for him. Okay, so we as fans, right? So imagine Big Brother 21 was tough. So we as friends, like we've gone through a big breakup, right? And we are trying to get over this
We've broken up with the Big Brother 21 cast.
Sure, or like if we're going to use this as a metaphor, just like you in your life. Like you've gone through this really big breakup and you're sad about it and you're trying to get back on your feet and you're trying to go back out with people and you're like, you know what? I went on a date with a guy before I met the person that I had been dating. Like I went on a date with him 2 years ago and I think I misjudged him. Like, I don't think that he was as bad as I thought he was. So then you text that guy and you go and you meet him. And not only is he as bad as you thought he was, he's infinitely worse. And he like shows up like crazy, like gets the wrong restaurant address. Like you're waiting an hour and a half for him. And when he finally shows up, he like calls you the wrong name. Like he's worse than you thought he was. And you're left to go home and reevaluate all of your decisions and realize what you might have to text your ex-boyfriend and say like, I'm sorry, like it doesn't get any better than this, I guess, you know, that's my idea.
But the ex-boyfriend in the original analogy is Big Brother 21. We're probably not going to go run back to them.
No, I do think maybe we're perhaps looking at
Two
Nicole
things can be
Anthony.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, Nicole Anthony.
They could both be bad.
Last week, like Nicole Anthony, we were like, get her out of here. Let's see what David can do. And now we've seen what David can do, and we're like, we should have had Nicole Anthony come back because she would have realized the error of her ways. So yeah, that's my David analogy.
Yeah. Yeah. Pooya, how much of this do you think we're going to see on the show tomorrow?
I mean, my heart says give me it all, right? I want all of it. I need the Dodo music. I need the DRs of like, man, what is going on? I need this is the one storyline they can actively give David, I think, for a while. So they need to utilize it. How much of it we're going to see? Not a lot, because I do think we're going to see more of the Janelle campaign trail. We're going to see the Janelle and Kaysar goodbye, like, I'm going to miss you. Let's talk about, like, let's keep in touch more after the season's done. We're going to see more of that. We're going to see Janelle kind of do her scorched earth DRs. That's what we're going to focus on. And I'm kind of okay with it because, like, it's the end of an era in a way. But then if we're going to have some comedy segment, instead of a bidet segment or a baby star segment, give me the dummy David segment. That's what I would like.
Yeah. I think there's a possibility that we get a segment of him or of Janelle trying to campaign to him. And maybe even like Kaysar trying to campaign to him, and him being like, well, I don't think it's there. I mean, there is so much to that. They could cut it so it's like an hour long, but essentially, like, especially the part where she's like offering him, like, I think you and me and Bailey and Davon could work together. Don't you see any benefit in keeping me around, like, and doing that? And he's just like, no, I see no benefit. And it's just like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? If someone proposes an alliance or something, you don't just say no. You say, like, that's interesting. Okay. Even if you don't have to necessarily like agree to it and swear on it or anything like that. You can just be like, whoa, okay, that's an interesting proposition. I'm gonna have to think about it. He didn't do it. It's just all bad.
Okay. Do we know how much the contestants are going to be vying for HOH tomorrow night? Has there been a lot of talk about people throwing it versus people going for it?
I think there's some people that are definitely in the I'm okay, so I'm going to throw it camp. I think Danny's one you can immediately point and be like, Danny's not going to try and win this. For sure, Danny's feeling good, feeling
What
fine.
about a David HOH, though?
Oh, my days. So if a David HOH was to happen, Rob, here's what's going to happen.
I'd be here for it too, Maggie.
Yeah.
I don't like it just because, I mean, I love the like humor of it, but like, I know that he's going to do something stupid. So he's going to say, okay, we got to put Kaysar on the block. And, I want to, teach Davon a lesson about, not revealing stuff or whatever. Like, so I'm going to put Day on the block, just teach her a lesson, but she's not going to go home because Kaysar's the target. So, that's fine. And then we either have Kaysar or Davon leaving on David's HOH, and we'll all be infuriated. So as funny as it would be to see him get HOH-itis, which he absolutely will, and we all know it, I just don't want the end result.
Like,
don't you remember how funny Fessy's HOH was, though? Like, we were frustrated, but it's iconic.
I don't know if I can take any of that frustration.
I mean, hear me out, though. I feel like that this next HOH is going to be interesting. That barring, say, like Cody, Enzo, Christmas. Like, I think that outside of those three, like, I think we're kind of going to get an interesting HOH no matter what this week, right?
It's possible. Definitely, especially if Kaysar stays, it's possible. The worry, Rob, with David is that, like I said, David just is like, you're both like the two people on the block right now, doesn't trust any of them. His feelings are hurt about the previous week. So I just don't want the history books.
But it would be Tyler in his ear. I think that it would. I do not believe that it would be David making his picks there. I think it would be, we would see what Tyler wants to do with this cat's paw.
It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. And I do think that there's a better chance for Kaysar next week potentially than there would have been if Janelle stayed. But I think ultimately I just don't want the history books to show here lies Kaysar's fourth shot at being in the house, and he was taken out by David.
Yeah.
David. No. That's I don't want. But it will be
especially when it's not good for his game to get Kaysar out. Like, it's just not. And if he wants any shot, he needs to he's not in the big alliance. Now Cody and Tyler don't trust him. Like, they're not going to keep him around. So, like, there's no reason for him to go after the outsiders at this point at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think for Kaysar to have success long term, I think he's got to not win HOH here. I think that he's got to sort of like get back under the radar.
I think he's going to gun for it. And
yeah,
I think, I mean, yeah, it's probably, well, no, I think that.
I don't think he should throw it, but I just feel like long term it would be better if he didn't get it right away.
I don't know. I feel like he's at serious risk. I just feel like he's at serious risk. And I feel, because it is an easy move for a lot of people. I think a lot of people are not ready to do the Civil War yet, where, you know, it's like the alliance turns inward. I think that there are still some people who are like, okay, let's chill another week. Kaysar's an easy target. I don't want to like, you know, make waves. So let's just like put him up and get him out. And I think that's what I worry about. And so I do think Kaysar should win HOH. And I think that that's what we should be hoping for.
Okay. All right. Let's take a couple more questions before we start to wrap this up here tonight. Okay. This is from Faison. Is Memphis popular with the casual viewers? The edit almost seems to be centered around him, and I see him more on the episodes than an entire week of feeds. Maggie, what do you think Memphis's popularity is with the casual viewers?
I think that Memphis is the casual viewer's villain, right? Like, he's the one that everyone's like, that guy's mean. Like, that guy is dumb. Like, yeah, everyone doesn't like him in his alliance. Like, what's going on here with this guy? Like, I think that they use him as the big, like, villain versus, you know, like, we're getting from a Danny Donato.
They want us to hate him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they want all of our, like, negative attention to be on Memphis over anyone else.
We hate Memphis. We hate this guy. He's so old. We hate him.
This guy's too old.
He's too old. Why is he? Yeah.
Big scarves.
He threw the challenge. He didn't even save Kaysar and Janelle. Okay. All right. Jar Jar Jacobs says, what makes you more uncomfortable? The thought of Christmas and Enzo conceiving a star baby, or the thought of a grown man getting in the booth and recording the voice of that star baby? You know, probably the voice.
Yeah, the voice
I think so.
is disconcerting.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
it's not great.
And the
adult
things the
got
voice
on the booth
said.
and said that.
You don't have an actual baby asking to be bounced on the lap. Like, it's bounce me. Like, that is not.
Yeah, he has like very specific demands, like take me for a walk around the house. Go tell everybody how cute I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was like the baby from Dinosaurs. This was not a real baby.
Yeah.
She said not the mama and hit Christmas over the head with a frying pan. Okay. Thank you, Pooya. Okay. All right. Let's see. Uncle Teddy, who can we root for to win HOH if we want good feeds next week? Bay, Day, Kay? Anyone else willing to take a shot? If we want the best feeds, who should we root for? Kaysar?
I think those would be best, because then it switches things up. People are nervous. You know, Davon and Bailey don't have to worry, and we don't have to worry really, because it's just like, you know, it's just going to be scrambling between that alliance. You might see people. I mean, the way they were talking earlier today was basically like, okay, who are we going to put up? And there was discussions of putting up Danny and Nicole to get them, the people, to turn on each other, and to like, what is maximum drama is essentially like, what is maximum chaos? And they were trying to figure that out. And so, I mean, if Kaysar can win and put a scenario there that is maximum chaos, like, that is what we want. That is great. So it'll be exciting.
Yeah. If you want a palate cleanser of the last 3 weeks, you want the Kaysar win, because that's kind of the revenge tour. We've been watching these cool kids just take down people one by one. This is where the tables get turned. This is where, you know, everyone's favorite Franzo's going to end up on the block. Danny's going to end up on the block. Maybe a Cody ends up on the block if one of them wins the veto, and you're going to see them squirm and have to battle against each other for a week. Yes. Longevity's sake, to change the map of the house. If Kaysar was capable of putting in new deals in position, I would rate that. However, I'd be a little bit scared of the way Kaysar operates with an HOH. You know, the I sealed your partner's fate Kaysar will jump out, and that's great for a week, but then we might go back to the old, the next week, and Kaysar's in trouble again. I would be keen. I wouldn't mind seeing a Bailey win, I wouldn't mind seeing what Bailey has going on, what she's going to do. I think based on the conversation we've been seeing, based on her link with Janelle, there's no way she's going to get rid of Kaysar in this position. She'll do something with it, and then maybe this is the week that Kaysar can try and reset himself into the house. It would still get the big alliance shaking a little bit. It'll see the Slick Six kind of be nothing. I would be very interested in seeing that happen. So I would be okay with the Bailey situation.
Okay. I just want to update. Bradley Michael on Twitter has tweeted to us to say, Ian says he has a handheld laser hair removal machine, but his back is hard to reach and his girlfriend doesn't help him with it. Maggie, do you think that Ian could recruit Enzo's aunt to live in his basement to help him with the laser hair removal?
I think that is a great idea, Rap. You got to suggest it to him in your exit interview with him after the show.
Yes. Okay. Just in case anybody has forgotten from way back when on premiere night.
So I got a 3-floor house. My aunt is in a basement who shaves my back.
Yeah. Okay. If Enzo, that's why he hates winners. Winners have laser hair removal machines that he's got to do it old school with the razor. He's going to win, yo. Yeah.
We've cracked the case.
Get that laser, yo. Okay. All right. Let's see. Anything else? James wants to know, if you guys were Tyler and Cody, would you have taken the Janelle deal that she proposed to you, and why? I guess we didn't talk about this. Should they have taken the Janelle deal? I personally think that they are making a mistake by getting rid of Janelle this week, right?
I absolutely think they're making a mistake getting rid of Janelle this week. She's a huge target in front of them, and she would be a shield. And if they could link up with her, I mean, she has nobody. I mean, yes, she has Bailey and possibly Davon, and she has Kaysar. But if Kaysar leaves this week, she has no one. She needs to find allies. And if you can be her ally, she can be a shield for you. She will still be a target. She will always be a target. She's Janelle. So, I mean, there was a video going around this week on Twitter that showed, this should have been what happened this week. And it showed in All-Stars when Chilltown was like, we have to keep Janelle. We have to save Janelle. We have to keep her here because when Janelle is in the house, she is a shield for Chilltown. And it's like, why is that not being thought about? And I feel like it is being thought about a little, like Tyler has said it, like, why am I getting such a shield for myself out of the house? But it's like, no one will change it up or act on it. It's just like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So it's not great, but I don't think it's the right move.
I think it goes to show how strong Danny and Nicole F's game are. That they have strong arms Tyler into getting their biggest target out when Janelle would be absolutely open to working with Tyler. Mm-hmm. And Tyler has already expressed his distrust of Danny. And I'm not sure why he isn't willing to pull the trigger and flip some votes and keep Janelle there to go after some of the people who he perhaps mistrusts. I don't know.
For me, it's a lot of what has just been said, but Tyler's someone who doesn't want his name in anybody's mouth. Janelle's name is in everyone's mouths. Janelle has the reputation of a winner who's been to the end twice and is a comp beast. She was a comp beast. She's been to the end twice. That was a long time ago. She is more so closer to the Janelle of 14 with the comp prowess than she is the Janelle of BB6, BB7, but she still holds that threat level of BB6, BB7. And I do think that she's somebody that is always going to be brought up. If you're one of the guys, she's made it very clear her enemy is Nicole Franzel. She's always going to go after Nicole before she's going to go after you. That's a good thing for you to have. If one of your allies, if Nicole wins next week, she's going to do what you didn't and finish the job and take out Janelle. And this is all me advocating as a big Kaysar fan. But I do think that there was a lot of offers on the table that they missed, because the other thing is Janelle clearly loves this game enough to come back after so long for a fourth try. She's a big fan of this game. If her fate is sealed and she knows she's dead to rights, and then you come in and you're like, hey, I'm your Uno reverse card. I've got you. You're giving me this deal of 2 weeks. I'll take it, but you're riding with me now. She will ride with you. There is no doubt in my mind. She doesn't want to go before, the middle folk, before the Kevins and the Davids. Like, she definitely doesn't want that. She's someone who I trust in saying, I want an all-star at the end. I want the all-star to win. So this is where you make this deal happen. And I think it's a missed opportunity, but thank you. You're giving me more Kaysar, so I can't exactly be too mad at it. But I know as a fan of good TV, as a fan of entertainment, I'm going to miss Janelle after this.
She's alone, she's desperate, and she's a loyal player. And I just feel like they're missing this opportunity. I feel like they're missing it with Kaysar as well. Like, I think they should be making a deal with either of them and be like, look, if we keep you around, like, I want to work with you. Like, they don't have to sit there and like say, okay, screw my other alliance members. Like, I'm only going to work with you or do anything like that. But like, why not create a deal with them? Like, I feel like there's a lot of talking around that where it's like, you know, I'd be open to working with you. I'm not against you. Like, you know, if you stick around, I'll certainly keep an open mind or whatever. But it's like, just make the deal. Like, now is the time to make the deal so that moving forward, if they win, like, I just feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities right now.
Okay. All right. Let them make the wrong move. It'll be fun. You know, it'd be worse if the big alliance was making the right moves, but somebody has to pay the price this week, Janelle or Kaysar. I'd love to see what Kaysar is capable of. Okay, let's do one more question, and then we'll wrap this up. This is from Annalie. Didn't Julie tease something about the number 3 in the preseason? What did it mean, and can it save Janelle? No, stop. Do not read into the Julie Chen Moonves tweets. All right, let's do one more question that we can dig into. I know it started as a joke, but doesn't it almost actually feel like Nicole has actual production sway? She keeps getting the good edit, showing only Janelle a few times. I said, okay, come on. We're not Nicole Franzel.
No more questions.
Yeah,
no more conspiracy theories.
Not controlling the show. Okay.
Freaking A.
It's fun to talk about, but stop it. Come
on. Let's talk about this for a second. So, Janelle, and correct me if I'm wrong, was a fan favorite winner recipient, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's happened. That's 3 in a row, gang. That's 3 in a row. And
are there any left?
I think so.
Tyler.
There we go.
Oh.
One more.
Oh.
It's scary. It's scary for a fan favorite out there. I'll tell you that. So that's happened 3 in a row. We've got 3 women going out in a row. That hasn't happened. I saw a statistic that outside of the 1 ejection and BB2, that was what was his name? Outside of him, this has not happened before. So this is also a first where 3 women have gone out in a row. This is unprecedented time. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. There's a reason we don't talk about him, I guess. It works out. So it's just an interesting situation for me to see. Like, I know Janelle went out early in 14, but also Janelle wasn't really supposed to be playing that game anyways. This is just a weird situation for her to go in and be third twice, you know, third last person out of the house to third person out of the house. It's just a weird situation. And I didn't want to see it come through so soon, but Janelle is probably never going to see this. She's going to have a lot more to deal with, but thank you for keeping it fresh, despite me in preseason being like, I've seen Janelle enough in the last year with Amazing Race and 3 iterations of Big Brother. I was wrong. I'm really happy I got to see. You're not going to get a notes app from me, but I'm very wrong and I'm okay with it. It's okay. I'm happy now.
Yeah, never enough Janelle for me. I love her.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look. One more question, and then let's wrap this up. Okay. All right. How about this one? This is from Katie. Do you think there's anything to Janelle saying that she was told that she wouldn't be going home until mid-September, even if she was out early, or no, because Nicole and Keisha went home? I would not. We've gotten 2 exit interviews. I don't think that this is going to be some sort of save twist for Janelle.
I don't know what it means. Like, I know that there have both Tyler and Janelle have mentioned that they were told by production that they would not be going home even if they get kicked out. Like, they're going to be staying till September. So I don't know if maybe that was them production being safe and saying you'll probably be here till September, or I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It is weird to me that they would be told that, and yet both Keisha and Nicole are at home. So maybe there's something coming up, but it could have just been production being look, assume you're going to be gone till September.
Yeah. The situation is, go ahead, Maggie.
Oh, I was just going to ask Rob if you have an exit interview tomorrow.
Well, they're Friday, but I've not heard that there is not an exit interview.
Yeah.
But you haven't heard that there is an exit interview.
Yeah, but I didn't hear that there was one last week either. Yeah.
Here it is. That's the conspiracy coming to.
Unless there's in their contract that Janelle has signed, they've got like what's called the loophole lounge clause, where if she's out, that's when the loophole lounge twist comes in, and now she's in this lounge just chilling, a la Angela from a BBAU from this past season, where she just gets to hang out for a week and then come back right in. I don't think that's the case, especially because I feel like shouldn't they be cutting these more quickly if they're coming up on the feeds? And I feel like I've heard them, like I've heard the whole sentence play out, so they've not really been cutting them. So to me, that means that it's nothing. It's not really a thing that we should be looking out for.
Okay. All right. Scott, why don't we switch to what's coming up? Okay, here we go. Let's talk about Canada's Drag Race Episode 8 recap. Check out what Liana, Beth, and Aman have to say about the latest episode of Canada's Drag Race on our RHAPups. And now, okay, you wanted to talk about Love Island? I got to talk about the first 2 nights of Love Island. 2 nights, 3 hours of Love Island. Maggie, are you watching Love Island?
No, you would think that sounds right up my alley, but I don't like the love reality shows. They're just too much. It's too much.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was pretty fun, the first 2 nights of Love Island. I thought the podcast was really fun. So check out that podcast. I was the first guest because, of course, if you're going to do a recap of Love Island, you need somebody who's such a relationship expert. So that's where you bring in Rob Cesternino. I joined Kirsten McInnes and Brian Scally on the Love Island RHAPup premiere that Kirsten and Brian will be back twice a week to cover all of Love Island over on our RHAPups channel. Be on the lookout for that. And then over on News AF, Danny, Tyson, myself, we kicked off. It is pumpkin spice latte season on Tuesday. We're already here. It's happening. Maybe that's what they told Janelle. They said, Janelle, don't worry. You're not going home until pumpkin spice lattes drop.
I have very strong negative feelings about.
And Janelle was like, "Oh, pumpkin spice latte season. Oh, that's probably what, like end of September?
October?
Like, no, it's August 25th."
She got bamboozled.
They bumped it up. They bumped it up. Okay. Oh, we had a lot of fun today talking about the Survivor Borneo finale. Myself, Josh Wigler, and Mary Kwiatkowski joined us on a wiggle through time as we wrapped up our summer Survivor rewatch series, talking about the finale of Survivor Borneo. I heard Janelle was talking about a lot of Big Brother this week. Oh, so Survivor. Janelle's talking a lot of Survivor. Yeah, she does talk a lot of Big Brother. That happens to be.
So is that surprising? She's talking about Big Brother?
Yes. So people want to know if we get Janelle on a Survivor podcast one day. We'll see. On the B&B, Mike and Liana, they were playing some games with Corey Cool, a castmate of the Nicole Franzel and Janelle on Amazing Race 31. Check out what Corey Cool had to say about the Survivor Borneo finale as well on our RHAPups feed. And then find out why Richard Hatch won with David and Jessica as they wrap up their wiggle through time look back at Survivor going on all summer long. And then this podcast is not dropped yet, but a sneak preview. Rob and Akiva are talking about murder mystery this weekend, so be on the lookout for that, probably coming Saturday. LFC roundtable from last night. Again, Melissa, I always enjoy the LFC roundtable.
So do I. It's very fun. It's a really good way to just kind of like let everything out once a week, and it's a very fun time.
Brent wore the veil last night. If you missed it, of course,
very exciting stuff.
Very fun to see everybody run through the stock watch. That's up on our YouTube channel, and then of course in our Big Brother podcast feed. And then on Thursday morning, find out what happens overnight on the Big Brother live feeds. Taryn will be back live 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific for that, getting you set up for Thursday night. We will have our eviction. Kaysar or Janelle are going home or somewhere on Thursday, and we'll have a vote, and we'll find out. I think we'll see the start of an endurance HOH competition on Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. And then, of course, we got plenty more coming up on Rob Has a Website.com. I was chatting earlier tonight, just a little bit of a heads up. I was chatting earlier tonight with Sean Rector, trying to get together another Black Voices of Survivor roundtable panel coming up for hopefully we're hoping to do it next week, but we have that coming up, and very important to get back to having some of those conversations on the podcast. So be on the lookout for that. Maggie, so nice to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun, guys.
Yes. Okay, Maggie, where can people follow you?
On Twitter, I'm at _ML Morgan. And on Instagram, I am ML Morgan _.
Yes. Maggie, I forgot to ask you tonight. Are you enjoying the Nicole F experience this season?
You know, I really am. I mean, she's like deeply frustrating, obviously, and like she's so easy to root against. And I actually like the problem is like everybody says own it, own it, own it. But also, I think that even like the biggest frustration other than her owning it is the fact that like she doesn't try to get out of it. Like she doesn't try to not be a victim or like the one who's like hurt. Like it's not fun to watch. If you want a bit of acting tips, it's not fun to watch someone in a television show, reality TV or not, like sit in their sadness and feeling bad for themselves and themselves being a victim. It's much more fun to watch someone fight against that. And Nicole is just really frustrating and difficult to watch because all she does is sit in how everyone's mean to her and how nobody understands her and how she just likes to be nice to everyone. And if she could just like take it by the reins and be like, I am not, I'm not going to complain about this anymore. I'm going to do something about it. I think it would be so much more fun to watch because she is playing a great game.
Yeah. I look at it very binary with these Big Brother characters. Do they give us stuff to talk about on a podcast? Yes or no? The answer with her is clearly yes. I'm happy she's there. I think that people think that I really don't like her, but I'm very happy that she's a part of this season. Okay. She does not ever make it the B word, which I greatly appreciate. Pooya, what's going on with you? What do you have coming up?
Well, I did record the latest 90 Day Fiance RHAPup podcast today with
what's current in the world of 90 Day Fiance.
In the world of 90 Day Fiance right now, we have two shows going on. We have The Other Way, where the American part of the couple goes to the country of the other person and starts the life there, lives there. And then we also have Happily Ever After, which it follows through with previous 90 Day Fiance couples who are now happily married, and it goes through their life now and the aftermath and how they're doing there.
Happily married.
Yes, happily is loosely put in there, just because it makes sense.
Oh, they're not that happy?
Some are not so much. Some are not even together anymore. Some are divorced.
Oh, wow.
So.
There's a lot of drama that goes
Very
on.
exciting.
Yeah, and it's very fun to talk about. And if you want to hear more about that, you can find that over on the 90 Day Fiance podcast over on the RHAPups network. And Rob, we got news today, Rob.
News?
Masked Singer season 4 is coming back in a couple weeks.
Yeah, are they all in a bubble?
Yes. So actually, there's a couple of things I know now. So this season, there's going to be live audience voting from home, similar to how like your American Idols were in the past kind of thing. So they got people that'll be watching it through Zoom and stuff. They've got like a select audience. They're going to be the panel that's voting. That's interesting. There's about 14 people. There's a couple of weird characters that are going to be there. We've got a whatchamacallit. It's actually a person called whatchamacallit. Yeah, exactly. It's same spelling and everything. We've got one of those. We got a squiggly alien. We've got it's it's very strange. But of course, when that comes back, I can't not talk about it. So that'll be something we'll be seeing in the future. And of course, you can catch me Friday mornings talking live feeds with Taryn. And let's hope that the endurance comp lasts all night so that neither Taryn and I can sleep, and that'll be fun podcasting and hopefully celebratory. We'll see.
Okay. All right. And then it's Melissa with 3 A's with the viral Twitter because she's tweeting out apologies. Now, I hope David wins the season, and then you have to apologize for when you said that David is a bad player.
It's just going to be an ongoing thing. Like if he does like a great move and everything turns around, I'm going to be like, you know what? I apologize for apologizing. And then it's just going to be like
and then he'll come back for all winners and be the first one out. And then you have to
Right.
apologize for saying that he was a good player.
Yeah,
after he
I figure I
loses.
should just get a bunch of apologies ready. So that way, you know, I can just use them whenever I need to start apologizing for things. I'm
Mhm.
sure I'll need to apologize for more.
Okay. All right. Well, Melissa, so fun getting to podcast with you as usual. Thanks everybody for joining us here tonight live. We will be back on Thursday night with more of Big Brother, and we'll talk about our eviction. Hopefully you are doing okay, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.